Back everyone. The iPhone 10 and the iPhone 12 are two phones that came out a couple years ago. The iPhone 10 is much older, but the iPhone 12, came out in 2020. This phone came out in 2017. So let's see how they both hold up in 2022. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these phones or some more ones that I would recommend, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, the iPhone 10 is actually a little bit of a smaller phone than the iPhone 12, but it's very interesting because the iPhone 10 was a $1,000 phone from 2017, but the iPhone 12 is a about $800 phone from 2020. So that's pretty crazy. On the front, the iPhone 10 had a 5.8-inch Super OLED display, whatever it was called, and it was actually a really good panel when it first came out. It was the first iPhone with an OLED display. It was the first iPhone with a notch as well, and I think overall it still looks super beautiful, especially when you customize the icons like this. I think they look really, really nice. But this is a very good-looking iPhone, and I still think it looks very, very beautiful. It also feels a little bit more premium than the iPhone 12, basically because of the stainless steel bands on the side, lightning port at the bottom, so nothing really changed there. On the front of the iPhone 12, though, we have a little bit of a bigger panel. So we have a 6.1-inch, Retina OLED display as well, and this is a very good-looking panel as well. We still have the notch. The bezels are a little bit thinner on the iPhone 12 because of the flat sides, but I do think with something like the iPhone 12, it still looks really good, and I'm a big fan of the design of both of these, but the iPhone 12 feels a little bit better, but the iPhone 10 is a more premium feeling phone. In terms of thickness and thickness, they're kind of the same thing, although the iPhone 10 may feel a little bit thinner because of the curved panel versus like this, flat side on the iPhone 12, but both of them feel pretty good for the most part, but I do like the stainless steel band on the iPhone 10. On the back, we have glass backs on both, and these two are the white versions of both these phones. And what's so crazy is that they look completely different. This one looks more of like a kind of like a distorted kind of white. The iPhone 12 looks like a actual pale white in your face, a little bit less as white compared to the iPhone 11. But between these two, I think the iPhone 12 white looks a little bit better. We have dual camera setups on both, but the iPhone 10 has a telephoto lens and a wide, but the iPhone 12 has a ultra wide sensor and a wide. Wireless charging on both, IP certification on both. The iPhone 12 has the MagSafe capability right here, but that kind of covers it up on the outside. Not a crazy amount of differences, but I think the iPhone 12 may be the better looking one a little bit here and there, but the iPhone 10 feels a little bit better because of the stainless steel bands. Now, in terms of software, I mean, this is a pretty big thing. They're both supported with software right now. They're both still on iOS 15. They're both going to be getting iOS 16 and probably iOS 17, but the longer future is going for the iPhone 12. The iPhone 10 2017, there's 3 years of differences between here. So because of that, the iPhone 12 is going to outlast the iPhone 10 probably by a lot. And that's kind of sad because the iPhone 10, I think, could last for pretty much forever, to be honest. But the iPhone 12 is going to be that phone that's going to be lasting for quite a bit of time between these. So if I were you, going for something like the iPhone 12 between these may be a better option in the long run, but if you still have an iPhone 10, there's not really a big reason to go and upgrade like today. There are some other reasons here and there, but I do think when it comes down to it, something like the iPhone 12 is going to be a longer lasting phone than the iPhone 10. So that's a really big thing to keep in mind as well. So that kind of covers it up on the outside and everything like that. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between them. The iPhone 12 has that Apple A14 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone 10 has that Apple A11 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one is a faster one between these. Okay, there we go. All the apps should be not cleared out in the background, so give me one moment while I go ahead and do that. The iPhone 12 is cleared out, and the iPhone 10 is going to be cleared out in 1 second. There we go. So let's get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And I think the iPhone 12 is here, 10 is here. Let's go and do music, 3, 2, 1. I do think the iPhone 12 was faster, but they were on 2 different panels. But the 12 looked like it was more intensive, to be honest. App Stores 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone 12 was faster. iPhone 10 a little bit behind. Let's go and kind of scroll through here. Let's see if there's a difference. And I don't think there's going to be any big difference, but we'll just go and click here, for example. And the iPhone 10 did not want to load that up, which is weird. Let's go and get into photos, 3, 2, 1. 12 is faster again. Hopping out of here, let's do camera, 3, 2, 1. Kind of the same thing. Let's go into their photos. And I think the iPhone 12 was faster there too, to be honest. Clock, 3, 2, 1. Probably the same. That one was actually pretty close. Hopping out of this one, let's go and get into some of these third-party applications that I have on both these apps. So let's go into Stack, 3, 2, 1. and the iPhone 12 was faster. The iPhone 10 a little bit behind. Kind of expected, to be honest. I mean, there's a few years of generational differences between these, but I'm actually pretty surprised. I'm pretty surprised how well the iPhone 10 is doing, to be honest. Facebook 321, although it is slower pretty much every single time than the iPhone 12, it's not that much slower. Twitter 321, but there are a lot more stuttery frames on the iPhone 10. But the gesture base is pretty much the same on both. Snapchat 321. The iPhone 12 is faster to load into it. Hopping out of this one, let's go and get into Facebook 321. Okay, I already did that. I kind of forgot about it. Let's go get into Dropbox 3.2. I don't have that application. Very, very strange. Let's go and get into Netflix, which I also don't have. That's very, very weird. Temple Run 2, 321. And you can see the iPhone 12 a little bit faster, iPhone 10 a little bit behind. Again, not a crazy big deal, but there are some differences for sure. You are definitely getting a faster phone on an iPhone 12 than on something like an iPhone 10, which is very interesting, but also it's expected. But it's not crazy amounts faster. It is, smoother. You can see like pretty much every single time we go and do something here, the iPhone 12 loads up faster and it's smoother. But I think the iPhone 10 is still pretty decent. I'm actually pretty surprised how well of a job the iPhone 10 is doing. So that kind of covers up most of the applications I tested. And to be honest, like I mentioned, the iPhone 12 is clearly the faster one every single time. I've only tested a few apps too, but definitely the iPhone 12 is the faster one. But the iPhone 10 I think did a pretty decent job today, and I'm actually kind of happy with the way the iPhone 10 performed. So that kind of covers it up between both. Now let's go and hit on the cameras. Now between both, like I mentioned, dual camera setups on the back. The iPhone 12 has a wide angle lens and an ultra wide sensor, where the iPhone 10 has a wide and a telephoto lens. Personally, I like the ultra wide sensors a lot more. We have 4K at 60 on the back of both of these, but the iPhone 10 can only do 1080p on the front. The iPhone 12, on the other hand, can do 4K at 60 on the front as well. I think you're definitely getting more features on something like an iPhone 12 camera as well, so that's another big thing to keep in mind. Now, on something like the iPhone 10's camera, I think this is a very solid camera for sure, and I think it has really a lot of capability. There's not that much to hate on it. I think with something like the iPhone 10, this is a good camera, but it's not an amazing camera in this day and age. But I think for the price tag and for how old this phone is, it did a decent job. 4K 60 on the back. We have video mode, photo mode. We have portrait mode as well, which is nice. But the newest phones have cinematic mode, which is really cool. The iPhone 12 doesn't even have cinematic mode, so there's not that big of a difference between these two cameras. But the iPhone 12 is a much better camera than the iPhone 10 in my opinion. With the iPhone 12, you're getting substantially, clear quality photos and videos, and the screen is a little bit better too here and there, which gives it a little bit of a better appeal in my opinion. You have something like, portrait mode, which is really cool as well still, but you have it on both. I think there may be like a few more options here, but I will definitely tell you when it comes down to both of these phones, the iPhone 12 I think is the better one when it comes down to the camera. That ultra-wide sensor is really nice, and I actually do like that a lot. So when it comes down to these two, definitely the iPhone 12 is the better one here. And to be completely honest, I think the iPhone 12 is the better camera, just a better phone in general than the iPhone 10, which is expected. There's about 3 years of differences between these two. And because of that, you are getting a much more solid performing phone, better phone really in general, longer lasting phone, better camera, better performance. Really, this is the better phone, even better battery life, I'll give it that. This is the better phone in pretty much every single area. On the iPhone 10 though, this is a really solid phone for the price tag though. It's substantially cheaper than something like the iPhone 12. It's not going to last as long as this phone is not going to be as better performing and camera and all this stuff, but it's expected. This phone is 3 years older than this one. This is a 5-year-old phone right now. And because of that, I would probably side with something like probably the iPhone 10 if you're on an extreme budget, or if you currently own an iPhone 10, I would recommend keeping it, kind of seeing how iOS 16 holds up on this device, and then kind of adjusting accordingly. But because we're so close to iOS 16 coming out, and we're not super far off from the iPhone, 14 coming out, that you may just want to wait until these specific iPhones age up a little bit, and then kind of adjusting from there. So that kind of covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.